Upstate, a 4-year-old boy disappeared. He was last seen about 2 hours before he was reported missing. He wandered or was abducted from his campsite, and we had about 20 people looking for him at first, but later that went up to about 80, which is when I joined. We had no new leads, but we did know there was a river nearby, so we decided to check that. We had a few people in rafts going down the peaceful river to see if we could find anything. He was last seen in a pair of blue sweatpants, a Lightning McQueen t-shirt, a mator beanie also from the movie Cars, and a pair of white Adidas. I went off and decided to check near a road. This road sits on a shelf. Above it is a mountain blocking a huge expanse of 4,000 acres of wilderness. Below it is a steep rocky slope that leads into a small area that's been known for bears and mountain lions, so I decided I'll check in there to see if I could find any evidence of him. It's more than possible he was attacked by an animal and dragged away, possibly to here. I went in and saw a bear den. It wasn't hibernating season, so I checked it out and didn't find anything. I looked into the trees to see if a mountain lion had somehow pulled him up there, but still found nothing. I looked up the rock slope and there was a brown lumpy mess of blood, fur, and skin. I cautiously walked up to it and found it was a deer carcass, looked fairly fresh and there were no scratches on it. It had been gutted and everything, just the skin was left in a mushy mess. Freaked out, I walked down the slope and called in what I'd found. I decided to walk around a little bit in the wooded area to see if I could find anything else. If I didn't, I'd go back to the main area. There was nothing, so I went to the main area and asked about any new leads. Somebody claimed to have seen him about an hour before he was reported missing, on the other side of the campsite. We all went over there and spread out in a fan and began scouring every inch of land for the kid. We found nothing, so later we called in helicopters. At this point we had about 200 volunteers. Everywhere within a 50-mile radius had been searched and there was nothing. It was almost like he wasn't even here. Even scent dogs couldn't pick up his trace anywhere. About 8 months later, a friend of mine in search and rescue says that the kid was found just behind the mountain I'd searched by a group of skiers. They found the boy underneath a massive rock that had to be about 300 pounds. They get a team out there and they roll the rock off and bring him back for an autopsy. The coroner said that the kid died from a brain aneurysm maybe 2 days before being found. There was no cliff or mountain super close nearby, so there's no way a rock fell on him, and there is no way this kid could live through hot summers, then the cold falls and winter, and only then die and end up under a huge rock. This story bothers me. I have no idea how this could have happened. I guess he could have been kidnapped and kept for 8 months and then be dumped in the woods and have a large rock thrown on top of him, but how would he get a brain aneurysm and how would the rock end up on him? It took 4 grown men to roll this rock off of him. It bothers me, knowing that a mere few miles from where I found that deer carcass, this boy would be found. This content was provided